Hello. Welcome to another stream here, World of Tanks Modern Armor. How you doing, Mr. Bam?
Wonderful. How are you doing today, sir?
Fantastic. Happy to be here. Happy to have everyone watching us here today. So,
And how is everyone else doing today on this fine Friday?
looking excited. Everyone's looking excited, hyped up as usual. So
Shout outs. I see Army Guy E8, Hooah, Sinister, Petty in the chat.
Mr. Apache Native, all the wonderful
Apache Native, shout out.
faces here. All right, Mr. Bam. So I hear we got some stuff to talk about tanks this week, don't we?
Oh, is that the game plan? Shoot. Oh boy. Oh, I did not prep my script today. Tanks? Okay. Whew. Yes. Let's start talking about tanks here. And KB already called it out in the chat. Yes, that is in fact my custom garage layout right there behind me. We got a special treat today to go along with our usual weekly shout outs and battle feats. We're trying a new part of that segment, including some player showcases of their custom garage layouts as well. So some of our favorite picks that were from recent submissions, we'll showcase those later in the stream, of course. And I thought, hey, I'd like to show off my garage just a little bit, right? Some of my favorite tanks.
Yeah,
Got myself hold on, am I pointing in the right direction here? Got my M1A2 with the skin, the Maus with the Krampus skin. I just needed something very sinister looking in there. Got my Patton there. I forgot the name of that skin, but it has I don't know if it's actually in frame. I can't really see, but that's over on that side. I am so flip-flopped when I'm looking at the
everything's just reversed or whatever.
It's all like, reversed for me. Yeah. I have a Sherman Fury in there as well, but that one I know is off screen.
Awesome.
Oh, I saw a question go by. I think Max Chaos answered it. How do you get Cold War tanks in the garage? So this is with the new custom garage feature that we launched with the new Soldiers of Fortune season. So whether you're in your Cold War garage game mode or the World War II garage game mode, all you have to do is press down on your D-pad. This enables the garage customization and allows you to place a series of what we call garage gear, ranging from some metal barricades, tank treads, pallets, workstations, and of course your very own tank your own tanks from your collection that you can place around in the garage itself. We do limit it to just 4 tanks, but yes, you get to show off your own tanks in there.
Awesome. Just had a bunch of people just join, so hello everyone that just joined.
Hello. Stevie Cakes, the T-Bear, a lot of familiar names, Goliath Games.
Yeah, we're just talking about fun. Garage customization fun, and yeah, that's actually Bam's garage in the background, so appreciate that for sharing.
I should actually mention one more thing on the garages in case there is still some confusion, because when you go into the tank showcase and by default when you bring up the filter for selecting your tanks, yes, you will see all the World War II filter results first. Keep scrolling down. You will have Cold War options toward the bottom.
It's like a little Easter egg right now, huh?
Yeah. Palmar Bugle 3069. I see you. He's saying, "What about me?" We see you in the chat. We see you.
We see. All right, Mr. Bam. I think we got some cool stuff to give away this stream, don't we?
We got some giveaways. We got some new daily challenges. Maybe some new tanks coming out in the very near future.
Okay.
So I guess without further ado, let's start talking about what came out this week, what's going on now and through the weekend. Return of the Control game mode is back. It went live just this morning. For those of you that might recall, over the course of the past several months and the past few seasons, we've been running beta testing of our brand new game mode that we dubbed Control. This is a game mode that has focus of respawn. So you play a max of 10 minutes, and you accumulate points either by destroying enemy tanks on the other team or by capturing and holding the bases, and you accumulate points over time. First team to hit 1,000 points wins. So we wanted to make sure we still run some more of these tests, still collecting data. And this control mode that is going over, that started this morning and will be going just through this weekend, is focused on tier 5 tanking. This is the lowest tier that we have done so far for control mode. So please go check it out. We are still collecting some data and tuning this mode as we proceed to go into a more polished full launch of it toward the future.
What type of maps are we looking to see in rotation here?
Yes, so we do set a very finite number of maps into rotation for the mode, and we swap them out every time. And again, just to kind of gauge if it feels balanced and fun, and enough variety as well for the control mode. So for this weekend, we have for Tier 5 maps, Mines, Airfield, Fjords, the new map with the season, the returning map of the season, and Ghost Town. So you have 4 maps that will be in rotation for control mode.
Awesome. We'll look forward to seeing people on there as well.
Yep. And of course, I should mention, in case this was not clear, you can access the control game mode very much like all of our other event modes. When you log into the game, before you get into your garage, you see your game modes screen. At the very bottom, you should see control beta. All right. Up next, we got some daily challenges that have gone live this week. Just note these are not tied to the season challenges, but we have 3 main daily quests. The first one, Merry-Go-Round. The criteria here requires you to deal 3,000 or more damage in any number of winning battles, and this is only available on the first win bonus for any tanks that you have not already won a match with, but also only available 1 time per day. And this can net you 50,000 silver and a season point, or just a point. Mm-hmm. Then we have the Tally Them Up bonus daily quest. Destroy 1 or more vehicles in 2 battles. This is also available only once per day, and this gets you an enhanced repair kit and a point. Then we have the Sharing is Caring daily quest. Assist in 250 or more damage in a battle, also available just once per day, and gets you a 25% crew XP bonus and a point. And then by completing all 3 of these main daily quests, you will get access to a Tanking Experience bonus quest. Earn 5,000 or more XP in any number of battles. This is available for all tiers 3 through 10, as well as Cold War, Eras 1, all eras in Cold War. Also can only be completed once per day, and this gets you a 50% silver booster.
And if you didn't mention it already, all these quests here are for multiplayer and co-op only. So
yes, thank you, Tankz0rz.
Mm-hmm.
And our tank of the month is the AT-15A. How many of you have the AT-15A in your collection? This one is our tank of the month for October. I can't believe it's already October, actually. Yep. It's starting to feel like it outside. And there's the weather commentary.
Oh, no.
Not a stream goes by where we have to mention it. But we also got a brand new 3D hero commander that released just this past Tuesday. Heinz Volltreffer Kraus. Here we have him, a German gunner, 3D commander here, designed for the history enthusiasts out there. Heinz Volltreffer Kraus is a period authentic World War II gunner, and and his Volltreffer, we realize, translates to bullseye. You can find bundles for him.
A little bit of a history lesson there.
A small little history lesson there. And we have bundles in our store right now where you can pick up that new 3D commander now. Or maybe 2 lucky winners on stream also may have a chance to win Heinz Volltreffer Kraus themselves. Tankz0rz, let's kick off a giveaway for 2 lucky winners to have their chance to have this 3D commander in their collection.
See what you did there. All right, well, if you'd like for a chance to win your very own 3D commander here, go ahead and click on the link we just provided in chat and give us your Wargaming ID, and you'll be eligible for all of our giveaways today.
Decamp FTW, Heinz the ketchup connoisseur. Maybe there's a family resemblance or relation into the product. Who knows?
I know we were talking about that 3D commander a little bit before stream, but yeah, I think he looks cool, right? He's like very authentic, looking, so props to the art team for that.
I actually still have to pick him up myself. Shame on me. Okay, Sorry.
No, I said, all right, let's moving on here. So that was this week. What about next week, Mr. Bam?
Next week, it's back. Get ready to fill your vaults. I see it come up all the time. This comes up in the Q&As, and I often have to debate, do we throw this question in here just yet? Because I know we have something to debut pretty soon. But yes, a fan favorite, Silver with Interest, is returning on Tuesday. So got some tanks you want to trade up. We also have trade-ins coming back too. And here's just a very small sample of which tanks players can get. And Tankz0rz has done a very nice job here. We're going to be kind of showcasing these tanks on stream as we run through them. Up first, we have the T-32A Proto. We have the Borask, the Guardian STG, the King Dragon Type 59, the TANK Tank, here we have it, and lastly, the NM116. All for the trade-up program.
Awesome.
And then the returning Caboose contract mercenary tank is also coming back. If you don't have any current ongoing contracts, and if the Caboose is a tank lacking in your collection, this might be your opportunity to grind and unlock the Caboose to add to your very own collection. So look forward to the returning contract for the Caboose on Tuesday. Tactical Potato. I need that silver bump before Halloween mode. Yes, we do in fact have Halloween mode coming pretty soon. No details to share on this stream, but if you're looking for some extra silver, next week might be your opportunity for that. Silver with Interest is coming back. All right, we talked about this weekend and the return of Control mode, but yes, we're bringing Control mode back again for next weekend, starting on Friday the 13th. I should have been a better opportunity to do something spooky for Friday the 13th.
Realized.
And this will run through the weekend until Monday the 16th. It is time to turn on the Tier 10 gameplay for Control mode. And our maps that will be in rotation for Tier 10 Control mode will include Fjords, Airfield, Himmelsdorf, and Severogorsk. This will also just be limited to the lights, mediums, and heavies, and tank destroyer class types. Artilleries are not included. And of course, this is still a World War II mode. There is no true vision.
Awesome.
So this weekend, you get to enjoy some low-tier World War II gameplay. Next weekend will be high-tier, Tier 10 gameplay. So looking to get some feedback, and of course helps us collect some data, econ earnings. And it is worth stressing, I do still see it come up from time to time. Players want more challenges and rewards, incentive to go along with the game mode itself. Right now we do not have challenges or season challenges tied to Control mode. There is earnings. You will get yourself a set amount of XP and silver for playing the mode itself. But as we continue to beta test this mode, we need to figure out we need to tune what makes sense the most for a lot of challenges that will be associated with the mode into the future. So right now, we can't say season challenges are applicable for the mode because there's opportunity to really farm and get a lot of tank destroys, damage dealt in this mode just with the respawn component of it. So for the time being, we can't allow support for the season challenges, but that may change in the future. It's all part of the beta test and data collection to make sure we set this up in a better polished state in the future.
Cool. All right, here. I think it's time to announce our winners here, or?
Yeah, because I think we got another giveaway to move on to, but we can't announce that giveaway without announcing our winners. Right. Tankz0rz, who is our Heinz Voltraffer Kraus 3D Commander winners?
Our winners are Cyber Bulat. Congratulations. I feel like they were on one of our community shout-outs recently. Our second winner here is Ricardo. SWFC Ricardo. So congratulations to both of you.
Congratulations. I recall Ricardo. I think he's a regular in the chat. Oh, I see Cyber Bulat in the chat too. Congratulations. Decamp FTW. Say that name 3 times fast. Yeah, I can't. Heinz Voltraffer Kraus. Heinz Voltraffer Kraus. I'm getting better at it.
It's better than I could do, so I'll give you that.
Just rolls right off the tongue. Just warped. Looking forward to that Sturm Tiger with respawns. Has me frothing at the mouth. Yeah, next week. Control mode tier 10. Awesome. All right, Tankz0rz. I think we have a new Tank2W, don't we?
Do we? We know what that means then. Let's press the wrong buttons. Here we go. There you have it, Mr. Bam. What do you think?
Wonderful. Next up for our mercenary tank line for Soldiers of Fortune, we have ourselves the Rhino. World War II, Tier 8. I know I see some debate in the chat, and yes, it's showing in the trailer. It is a Tier 8 heavy tank joining with our mercenary lineup of tanks here. Here we have it again on screen. Built to help allies stake a claim to dominance on any battlefield, the Rhino takes a robust British turret, fortifies it with space armor, and combines it with a German hull. A 122mm Soviet gun completes this package and makes this beast ready to charge into action in support of its team. It excels at close-range support for the front lines thanks to its 440 damage gun and good armor protection. The hull can block some shots most effectively against lower tier guns, while its turret armor provides much better protection with its 254mm of armor thickness and the additional spaced armor. You can use your gun depression to make use of hills and the terrain effectively. Use your turret armor to support the front line. You want to be close to the action due to your accuracy, but you make up for it with good penetration and high damage per shot. And hey, very like its name itself, similar to a Rhino, it has mediocre mobility, but tough skin with its head being its strongest point. The only thing it's really missing is just a nice large horn right off the end of the barrel, right?
Right. I mean, you have the artwork for it, right? But it's not necessarily a rhino horn sticking out. But
maybe one day we'll make this one to a Monster Mash Awakened version. It's a rhino with horns on it.
Yeah, you got the little rhino emblem right there sticking right out the side there.
In fairness, Max Chaos, yes, the barrel is the horn.
Oh, there you go. Well,
that's where all the damage and attack power is at, right? Right out of the gun. Fair point.
Awesome.
Okay, let's kick off another giveaway. Two more winners for their chance to get themselves the new Mercenary Tier 8 Rhino Heavy Tank.
Sounds good. If you already entered, you are set. If you just got into chat, go ahead and click on the link in chat and you will be eligible to win our brand new Rhino tank.
Wonderful. And we'll let that one sit for a bit of a while, and we'll return to find out who our winners are after our Q&As.
Mm-hmm.
Where does this take us, Tankz0rz?
I think it's shoutouts time, isn't it?
Shoutouts time! As you guys all know, with the start of the Soldiers of Fortune season, we have converted our key cards into war chests now, kind of returning to a form factor where we used to have war chests in the past. And so all of our shout-outs and Battlefleet users that we'll call out today, as per usual, you will be receiving private war chests as a reward for your great efforts.
Awesome. All right, let's go ahead and kick it off here.
So starting off in the Bandit tank, one of our very first mercenary Cold War tanks here. Um, we have Nam Ra 5118 and Jim Leahy 7215. Max kills dealt in a single battle of 8. We have TX Brother XT max damage dealt in a single battle of 14,273. And then we have El Capone BL4 with max combined assisted damage in a single battle of 7,755. And last one, also in the Bandit here, the NJ Devil 75, max blocked damage in a single battle of 5,770. Fantastic. And then our brand new Tier 10 Mercenary tank as part of the Ultimate Season Pass, the Ruthless tank here. We got a few users to call out. Up first, we have Major Ornbave. I really think I butchered that one. For Ornbave, with max damage dealt in a single battle of 11,341. Awake Woke 2, max combined assisted damage dealt in a single battle, 7,522. Uriri, with a max blocked damage performed in a single battle of 11,940. And lastly, also in the Ruthless here, Psychopath, with a max XP earned in a single battle of 2,165. Fantastic, all of you. And it looks like Tankz0rz, do you have the milestones?
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, let's go on to the milestones, and then we'll get into the next segment here. I had to scroll down a bit. So up next, these are our users who crested amazing number of battle thresholds in our game. Up first, at the astounding 100,000th battle here, we have two users, Mammoth on and Trucking It Up, 8211. Thank you guys for all the effort and battles that you guys put in. At 110,000 battles, we have Balthazar 250. At 140,000 battles, we have Tweed HC. And lastly, at that 150K mark of battles, L Assault 86. And what is it we say here, Tankz0rz?
That's a lot of battles. 150,000 battles. Even 100,000 battles. Congratulations to everyone for making it onto our weekly battle feats. That's definitely quite impressive.
Quite impressive. But that's not all. Like I mentioned at the height of the stream, we got one more kind of a fun item to include as part of our showcase today. Custom garage layouts. We've been asking players, now with this new custom garage feature added to the Soldiers of Fortune season, we wanted to ask players to show off your garages, show off your tanks. We want to see your collection and your layout. And if you guys submit any images onto our Discord channel, KB, with assistance of KB and our community team, we pick out some of our favorites and we showcase them here on stream. And yes, these users will also be receiving private war chests for their great garage layouts here. So first up here, we have from user Kubala Majewski. I really did bad on that one. So we have their layout here. We got a few tanks. We got the machine there in the back. Also one of my favorites. I was one of our original debut of mercenary tanks. We got our E100 in here, our 60 TP, and the Object 277 right here up front. And all of them seem to be adorned with Polish flags. I wonder if this is a Polish gamer, Polish player.
Mm-hmm. Nice little, nice eye there. Catching that little detail.
And gotta love the tank skins when the tanks have them available. I do the same thing. If my tank has a skin on it, that is what I want to show off in the garage as well. And the MOEs, you can see this player's got some good MOEs on a select tanks on display. Again, I'm going to stress this again in case this was unknown to some players. Yes, these are not only tanks that you can place in the garage based in the inventory. These are your actual tanks themselves. So if you've taken them into battle and you've earned MOEs, you applied camouflages or skins on them or flags, any sort of cosmetic, those will carry over when you showcase them in your garage itself.
Yep. We have more images, don't we?
We got a few more. Let's see which one we have up on screen now. Oh, there we go. Thank you. So this one was submitted by Blue Wolf 1997. Thank you, Blue Wolf. A very clean garage, but you can tell they had some tanks they really wanted to show off here. I didn't see it at first, but the piece sells is kind of hiding a little bit back there in the background underneath the what I'm calling the foreman's office. But they also have the Warhammer Nemesis tank there, also in the other corner. I have to imagine this is a Warhammer fan because we also have the Battle Sister Warhammer Commander. I imagine they wanted to include her into the shot.
Absolutely. Nice little touch. Next image here is from Chewy.
There we go. Very nice. Trying to squeeze as many tanks as you can in the shot. A good arrangement too. Like they really thought this through in terms of like how could it work as a real functional garage in a way, right? There's kind of a Tankz0rz. You and I both
structure. There's structure to this.
There's structure, and there's like a. You and I both went to an art school. I'm trying to recall the driving the point of view. The turrets are all guiding us in perspective here.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, so we got the FV 4005. We got ourselves the grill, the Chieftain Mark 6 that seems to be on the right here, and Object 140, and of course the E100 in their in the tank reel selection spot. One thing that I did take note here is the use of the what do you call those? The razors, right? Used to raise vehicles up. Mm-hmm. Got underneath each of those tanks. I would have imagined those were, at least for that scale, probably good for Jeeps and cars. Man, I'm curious. Listen, can that lift?
If they figured out a way to use it, let them use it. It's definitely very imaginative. Good job. Next image here is from a Kismail.
Kismail, Gear. There we go. Yeah, this will be our last showcase custom garage for today. Very much a German player fan here. We got our Tigers, our Tiger 1, our Tiger 2, E75, E100, all adorned with tank skins and the German flag flying. We got some German tank line fans in our player base, of course.
Very neat. I like it.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Mm-hmm. So congratulations to all of you. You all will be receiving some little goodies in your, I was going to say in your stocking, but I think it's a little too early for that.
Let's see. I saw a few questions fly by really quick about the custom garage. How do I submit from Snarf Music? How do I submit a photo of my garage? Because it's special. Ooh, we'd like to check that out. I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but I think I ramble sometimes. I talk a little bit too quickly. Check out our Discord channel. There is a Discord channel specific for garage showcases, and we will kind of scrape through, see any sort of screenshots submitted by users, and we'll try to pick out some of our favorites to showcase on stream from time to time. If this is something players like to see and want to, better see what other players are doing in their garages, we'll continue to make this a segment every week.
For sure. Sounds good.
Ooh, really quick, another one from Goop Dog Drill. Thought you can only have 4 tanks. Yes, that is the case. We only, currently in our restrictions for the tank showcase gear, 4 tanks is the limit. That may change in the future as we continue to develop and polish this feature itself. But we do also have other non-collection tanks that you can place around your garage that are just garage gear. They're not actually showcase tanks. Right. They're what we call the tanks under repair. So you should be able to find them in the store tab of the custom garage.
Little tanks being repaired, built, deconstructed. Alrighty, I believe that brings us to our weekly Q&As here, doesn't it, Mr. Bam?
Time for our Q&As. And I still didn't forget, there was a user, I never caught the gamer tag, that submitted a question asking us on the dev team, publishing, live ops team, designers, our favorite list of tanks between tiers 8, tier 10, and we covered those the past 3 streams, and we're continuing to roll with it. We have 2 more kind of layouts of our favorite tanks, and this week we will be covering our favorites of Cold War Era 2.
Should we take a look at that now?
Let's take a look, and then we'll jump into the rest of our questions. Here we go. A lot of Leopard favorites amongst us internally here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that Bradley made it in. That would be the M1A1 Bradley, because I know there's the Era 3 M1A3 that we've had in the game for a while. BMP2, Cobra Cat. Got the Warhammer Ignis Purgatio, Armadillo. Good to see that one make it in there. Any favorites in here that the community sees? Did your favorite make it into the list? Were you Tankz0rz? Were you the Mobat?
No.
Shoot. You were the Cobra Cat.
Yeah.
You're a cat guy. I knew you were a cat guy.
I thought I like that tank. It's cool. But the Ignis is a fun one too. So nice to see it on the list at least. And all the leopards, of course. Can't go wrong.
I chose this time not to actively look at the user submissions. I'm creating an unfair game here when I say I know what you put in there.
I have to say you probably chose a leopard, but I'm not sure.
I did choose a leopard.
Which one?
2AV.
Okay. Awesome.
KB's was the VT2.
VT2. Oh, alrighty.
Thanks for the Ignis in the chat.
Feel like this brings us up to our Q&As for real this time. You ready?
I'm ready to roll.
Speaking of the Ignis, let's start off with one of the questions regarding this tank.
What a wonderful segment.
Can the Ignis backup speed or the reverse speed be buffed a little bit? Any words on this?
People want more reverse speed, a little bit more acceleration, and maybe a higher speed, yeah? Unfortunately, not at this time. That tank is performing very well, and a lower reverse speed is one way to try and limit the survival rate of these kind of vehicles. With its current lower reverse speeds, this meant that we didn't have to impact other areas of tuning of the tank, like reload times or the aim speed or forward mobility. So there's always trade-offs to these things. If this was something that we needed to buff, based on its win rate or survivability, we would have to take a look at some other elements of it that might have to get a nerf. So no changes to the Ignis Purgatio reverse speeds.
Alrighty. All right, next question here. Will the Windstorm or Tundra be back later this year?
Specifically talking about the maps, not the weather itself. This year, no, but one of those maps next year, yes. I'll let the players debate which of those maps might be making their return.
Okay. Next question here. Is there any chance that we could see returning 3D commanders such as Rambo, Snake Plissken, Bardock?
This boils down to a licensing conversation. I never say never, but this is something that we just have to work out the conversations with the IP holders and get the license to sell them again. Right now, I'll say there is nothing active going on. There is no actual dates that we can provide. It's just a matter of if there's enough interest in the community, then we can go to the stakeholders and see if we can get licensing for them. But right now, there's nothing in the plans.
Well, following the same theme, can we get an A-team collaboration? Something like Mr. T or, BA Baracus 3D Commander.
A-team?
Yeah.
That'd be somewhat fitting into our game. Would the community, would the players like to see the A-team as 3D commanders into the game in some capacity?
Who wouldn't, right? But again, I think this also falls in line with a licensing conversation, right?
Yeah, I saw this question come up, so I made sure to just kind of align it with the previous question. It's, again, all about the licensing.
Okay. All right. Non-licensing related question here. Instead of 90 gold to respec all 9 skills, how about 10 gold to change 1 skill as needed?
This is something we are looking into. There has been active conversations and talking with our UI departments of how we can tackle this in the future. So expect some changes to this. No dates to give at this time.
Alrighty, let's see. Can we get a more detailed tank filtering system? Perhaps our archive feature might work. My tank collection is getting rather large. I can only imagine what you know, very veteran players go through. Thank you, Wargaming. We love your game.
Nice. So we do have tickets and active conversations going on of what we can do about some more tank filter options. We do see this as a good quality of life improvement feature ourselves. And I do know players ask for things like, be great to filter even by MOE types, etc. So we do add that as a bullet point, like if we're doing more filtering options into the game, we are considering what are things players want to be able to filter by. I will take note. I want to add this as another bullet point. I think it's an interesting idea to have like an archive system or just a filter by a set personal collection, right? You can star and favorite your tanks, which is kind of like, this is my collection. This is the one I want to find really quick, but maybe we can give players a collection A, a collection B, a collection C.
Right. It's definitely, I think is pretty awesome because, I mean, you just mentioned the favoriting system, right? And that's essentially what I'm doing is I'm creating my own archive of these are the tanks I want, but basically this player is suggesting, hey, can we have like a reverse system of like, I want to put these away for now, or put them in special boxes of, this is my light tanks, or this is my, I play only during the winter tanks or something. I don't know,
Right. I saw a comment go by, and this actually makes me think I need to follow up on some fixes here. Group dog drill, the favorites are getting reset. We'll take a look at that because that might have something to do with how the profile data and how we update things every time we go into a new season. Another quality of life thing, I know that could be very frustrating. So we'll follow up. There might be a work ticket for that already.
Alrighty. Let's see. Next question here. Will the Churchill 1 and the Char B1 get access to their hull-mounted guns anytime in the future?
So they are in the list. We are actively looking into many tanks potentially for next year that will be receiving some sort of secondary weapon upgrade. These are being considered, but they will be in some sort of future update that we can't disclose at this time.
Next question here. Will you guys ever consider adding the M163 or the M901 into the game as premium or an expansion to the M113 tech tree line?
There are plans in some future updates. There are a number of very cool and unique variants that give us some potential to add more variety in the game. Again, it's just not really on the schedule. It's just we have plans that we want to do it, but it's just a matter of time. And with all the other features, content, and other tanks that we have planned, those are rolling out first before we get to these ideas.
Awesome. Any plans for a next big update that will change the name of the game like it was Modern Armor or Mercenaries?
Well, we are always in active discussion, conversations with our leadership and various product teams of like what would be the next big update for World of Tanks Modern Armor. Safe to say here, nothing that we will share on stream. We are always thinking about what is the big next push that we can do. What are we doing in the next 6 months, the next year, the next 2 years, etc. But be sure when we have big updates to share, you will hear it from us.
Awesome. Do you think it could be a good idea to make bases uncappable in the first or so minutes of the match?
So this has come up before, and I had talked about it to certain extents with the community here on stream, revisiting the rules for base capturing, whether you're playing standard battle, encounter, assault, because I do understand some frustration. You're playing a match that's going well, and there's still plenty of players on both teams, but because the way the match kind of flowed, everyone kind of pooled into different ends of the map itself, and the bases are left uncontested, undefended, and some individuals made their way over there. They YOLO'd over there, and match is over within 3 to 4 minutes. I will agree that's an undesirable outcome for a lot of matches when there was so much more potential to be had. I do say there's a good idea to be made there. I'm not going to promise or state that we will make them strictly uncappable for 5 minutes, but we are on the design side going to brainstorm. I do have an active ticket to make sure that we can keep thinking about this, of how do we want to proceed changing the rules in some way in which bases are still very much present. It's still understood that it's a win condition for the game modes itself, but trying to tackle the goal of preventing early capturing is the problem we need to solve.
Awesome. Yeah, it's nice to see that that you're thinking about this and possibly coming up with some solutions here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Next question here. How long does a balance patch take to create, and when might we see a next one?
So this generally takes a couple weeks, depending on the number of vehicles being updated. Most of that time, that is spent going through all the stats of the vehicles and comparing them with similar vehicles of that class, that tier, that era, as well as comparing it against its current performance in the live environment. The trick is just trying to squeeze all this in between all the other active work and upcoming vehicle releases that are ongoing, while also monitoring feedback and live data if there's anything that we need to dive into urgently by any cases on that front.
Alrighty. Where are we at? Will you be providing the drop rate table and drop rates for the free daily chests? The dedicated article about these chests only mentions daily chests that they contain different drops other than the 3 types of word chests, but nothing further in terms of what might be contained inside of them. Just curious if there's any chance to get certain tanks in there.
Gotcha. Happy to say yes. Just in the past week, we now have included on our portal article the free daily war chests now includes, you can see on the portal article for war chests now includes the free daily war chest drop table. So you will be able to see the possible rewards you can get out of it. And just kind of a heads up in case this is a surprise to some users, yes, we do offer now in-game on a daily basis. If you visit the store tab and go all the way to the war chest category, you will see now a free daily war chest that can give you various rewards from XP, silver, and some boosters, etc. And even from the in-game clients, you can go to an input that takes you to a web browser, and from there you could also view the drop tables themselves.
Awesome. All right, let's see here. Next question. Would it be within the realm of possibility to have the velocity of missiles for the Jaguar buffed? They seem to be a little slow and make it difficult to play at a distance, mostly because Area 3 tanks are so fast, and it takes an eternity for the missiles to get to their target. Thanks, guys.
The missiles in Cold War mode, in general, are meant to be a lot lower in velocity, especially when you're trying to compare to autocannons and main guns. And we try to aim to have their velocities relatively close to real life ATGMs. That being said, we will be taking a look at the Jaguar tank and some others in an upcoming Cold War balance update. No dates to give on that front, but just know, it is something we will monitor and consider any sort of changes.
Alrighty. Let's see. Why does the Storm Tiger take damage when you shoot at it in the barrel? I was shooting at it in the barrel with my Type 5S small gun, and it was doing damage. Is that intended?
In general, gun barrels do tend to be the weakest part of a vehicle. Because the gun is very large on the Storm Tiger, it does make it a lot easier to hit the weaker areas, as you can literally fire into the barrel without hitting any of the thicker armor layers. Most guns in the game are less than 120 millimeters, which makes it nearly impossible to accomplish the same feat, as the same target area is just a lot smaller. As well as the probability for bouncing off of other armor pieces, which gets a lot higher, which is probably why on a lot of other tanks, you more often than not just see critical damage dealt to hitting a tank's barrel as opposed to actually dealing damage against the Sturm Tiger.
Okay. Next question here. Will you guys ever add the M163?
Oh, wait.
I think this is
We covered this
I
one.
think we covered this one.
That's probably a goof on my part.
It's okay. Next question here. Why when there are now 40 maps do you see the same multiple map multiple times if you play for about 1 to 2 hours? So why are we seeing so many repeats of maps? This is what this player is asking here.
Well, we do set our weighting of the maps to be very equally distributed. And at the start of every given season, we have a goal to any new or returning map that we introduce into the game. We do up that frequency just to give players more opportunity to see the new map put in there. And then after a week or two, we drop that frequency back down so it's in line. So right now, Fjords is in higher frequency. And I think, don't quote me on this, but we did return Hellfire Pass, a smaller variant of it, into World War II. I may need to double check in the data. I think that one also has a higher frequency. So that is one reason why you're probably hitting some of these maps a bit more often in there. We can take a look at the data itself in the matchmaker. This is where Mr. SPG is also much more of an expert than this than I am, of course. We can talk about this and see, if there is a problem going on, because we have shifted in the past couple of years. We used to have a finite sequence of which when you hit this map, you're always going to get this map next within a certain time frame. But we had since changed that now that we have a rather healthy quantity of maps in rotation. So it is very much randomized, but just know, yes, it's still very possible to see, the same maps, even though we have over 40 maps in the game. Yes, you will still see some of the same maps a few times in any given hour or two. But it's also important to note we don't have all 40 of those maps available across all the tiers. Right. So we have 40 maps, but we create subsets of them. I do believe there's a minimum of 31 maps in World War II, tiers 5 and up, and in all eras in Cold War. A minimum of 31. Okay. Oh, yeah, Mr. SBG says, Fjords is definitely set up to be more likely. It is just RNG. And Hellfire Pass... so Hellfire Pass is not currently in heightened frequency. Thank you.
All right, let's see. Next question here. Can the AMOLAD get some slight buffs? I suggest buffing the gun to the same stats as a Chieftain Hybrid 120 DPM, accuracy and depression values. Then buffing the terrain resistances a little bit. These changes would address some of the complaints. That the tank is feeling a little bit sluggish. Is there any insight on this?
First of all, I'd like to appreciate and call out players that a lot of players are very stat driven and love to know all the exacts and the values. And I just want to call out that I appreciate questions that come up that are above even my expertise sometimes when we look at some of these stats and they provide some proposals like, I think it'd feel better if we had it at these values, etc. Right. And it's always good because I do share this to Plague, our lead vehicle designer, like, hey, here's a proposal from the player. Sometimes we get questions of like, this tank's bad.
Right. And
let us know what is bad about it.
Yeah, what is bad, what is good, give us a little more insight. And I know I glanced over it a little bit here, but yeah, the player did provide values of like buff the terrain resistance from this to this to this to this. And yeah, I mean, it'd be nice, right? Just passing that info along, seeing, hey, Plague, is this completely like out of line, or like, is there something we could work with here, make a compromise? Yeah, it's definitely cool.
Yeah. So this is what Plague had to say about the AMOLAD and its possible buffs. This is of course our Iron Maiden collab tank that we released last month. The AMOLAD is performing well, and at this time there are no plans to give it any additional buffs. But this still being a relatively new tank into the ecosystem, we will continue to watch and buff it if necessary into the future.
Let's see. Next question. Why is it that at the end of battle, when you are left alone, they almost always set you on fire. So if you're the last tank on the field and you're trying to hold down the fort, 1v5, they always set you on fire. Bam. What's going on here?
Your engines are running hot.
You're
out of coolant.
Yeah.
Jokes aside, I want to call out Ricky Tikitave did a video on this maybe a month or so ago. I had a chance to watch it because I was curious. And in his video, he does showcase and show moments in which he's like one of the last standing tanks. And yes, he got set on fire. But that did call to attention to me, at least. I reached out to our lead engineer to see if there is anything at all in the data by any means do we do this. Because I will tell you right now, we do not design the game. We do not have a system or any working functionality in which this is a feature, right? And I got confirmation also from our lead and gameplay engineer that yes, we don't have anything in the game that increases probability of being set on fire because you are the final tank standing. What could be some theories going on around here. It could be due to positioning. When you are in fact the last tank alive, you're probably up against various other tanks and outnumbered from the enemy team. With so many of them coming at you from different directions, the likelihood of them hitting your ammo rack or just hitting your engine sets you on fire a little bit more likely. And it's also worth saying, like, there's still very much a likelihood of, well, there is always a likelihood that you get set on fire during the matches themselves, but are those maybe just not as acknowledged as much versus the times you get lit on fire toward the end of the match? It's an interesting observation. It will be something we'll continue to listen in and figure out if there's something going on. But so far, like I said, in the data and in our functionality and systems of the game, there is no evidence that says this is anything happening.
It'd be you said you looked through the files, right? But it'd be interesting, like going through control Fing, like, percentage of fire if you're the last guy alive, and it's like set to like 100%, and you'd be like, oh, who put this in here? It's like tagged like Bam.
Yeah.
Like, Bam, why would you do this?
What I will say is what we do have in data is an increased likelihood for Tankz0rz tanks to go into the water.
Yeah, especially if I'm reading chat or looking away. Yeah, I was gonna say that. Like, I always fall into the water, fall off a cliff or something. That's nothing new.
We added some gravitational pull to all of our lakes and ponds and water sources.
A couple more questions here, Mr. Bam. What do you think?
Yeah, we got maybe we can go through 4 more.
Okay,
We're doing good on time.
All right. Is there any way to reduce the amount of exhaust smoke that comes out of the BMP2 and the BMP3's ATGMs? For example, if you're looking at a scope and you fire the missile, I tend to lose sight of the ATGM and the red laser dot for about 1 to 2 seconds. Any adjustments that we can make here?
We can revisit this if there is still some visibility concerns, because this got brought up several months ago, and we spoke with our VFX designer and artist, and we did make adjustments to the smoke, not the smoke screen, but the smoke VFX that do come out. Yeah, for increased visibility. And this was also true not just to ATGMs, but also just out of your normal barrel firing. We reduce the visibility of the smoke effect itself and reduce the animation time that it remains on screen. And we get it, like having better, it does lend itself to better gameplay and aim time when at any given seconds, you got to be able to shift your aim to hit your target. So we can talk, I can talk with our VFX artist and see if there's something that can be done or looked into.
Next question here. When we complete the 6th season of the Calliope, do we get the tank straight away, like right then and there, or do we have to wait?
You will, in fact, have to wait. The Calliope tank will be released in the following season, starting in the new year itself. But it is worth noting, while it only takes the completion of 5 seasons to earn the tank, we also need to wait until the 6th season just to make sure all the completed progress that we are tracking on all players is properly rewarded out. And it's also because we are going to be giving out an additional bonus for those of you that have completed all 6 seasons this past year. So not giving out specifics, but there is additional bonuses for those that completed all 6.
Who doesn't love additional bonuses? All right, next question. Can you create either an emblem / insignia that are variable or include custom stats? For example, like a clan tag that has kill count or win 8 or I don't know, some other funny stat like how many trees have you knocked over?
People still really want that personal achievement. I knocked down all the trees in Malinovka. And look how many that is.
We have to plant the trees. Don't kill the trees.
No deforestation. Okay, creating some sort of cosmetic for players to show off a dynamic stat. We actually discussed this internally because we do think this is a fun and great way for players to show off their personal feats, right? Right now we have the marks of excellence, of course, but maybe if there's more ways for players to showcase like how many tanks they own in their collection, what is their damage standing, how many tanks do they destroy, maybe on a specific tank or tanks altogether, number of battles. There's a lot that we could do with that. It very much is
50K right next to your tank saying how many battles you did.
Exactly. Yeah. And I know that those are important stats to players, and it'd feel great to showcase that on your tank itself. It could be very much a possibility in the future. We do internally like it. There is the complication of stat tracking and how we get that to display in a effective way onto the tanks themselves. We do have some documentation for the idea, but I am going to point out, while it's a great idea, there is no active work at this time. But just know we are thinking about it, and we like it too.
All right, final question before we announce our winners here. With the recent Metal Fest series of operations / events, should we anticipate seeing more unified collaborations across all of Wargaming properties? For example, the potential for larger collaborations as they are not unique to just the console game.
It's always a possibility. What I will stress, though, is don't always expect that IP collabs that Blitz might be doing, that our counterpart on PC might be doing, and what we might be doing. It's not always going to be one-to-one, but yes, you can probably expect aligned collaborations between the product families.
Awesome, awesome. Mr. Bam, I know we're cutting short in time here. I have our winners ready. Are you ready?
Oh, yes! Who's receiving the Rhino? We got 2 winners.
Our lucky Rhino winners are Bredy25, that is BREDI25, Bredy25, and Aussie Binga. Congratulations to both of you. You are our lucky winners
for a brand new Rhino Mercenary tank, launching on Tuesday.
Alrighty, everyone. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. We'll go ahead and watch the trailer one more time, but as we're watching the trailer, we'll host one of our community contributors. If you're watching on Twitch, please stick around. If you're not, then I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you on the battlefield.
Have a good one, all.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.